Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Chopping Mall. It's a horror sci-fi, I'll probably say sci-fi film. Came out in 1986, it's an 18 hour and 17 minutes. Amazon is 4.4 out of 5, IMDb is 5.6 out of 10. I'll read both synopsises. Amazon is... In this slasher favourite, 8 teenagers are trapped in a high-tech shopping mall pursued by killbots. 2 weeks ago, Park Plaza Mall installed the perfect security system. Nothing could go wrong. That is until 4 teenage couples find themselves trapped with the 3 armed short-circuiting robots. And IMDb is... A group of young shopping mall employees stay behind for a late-night party in one of the stores. When the mall goes on a lockdown before they can get out, the robot security system malfunctions and goes on a killing spree. So the director is Jim Wynorski, Wynorski, who directed Dynagator. Producer was 4 of them, but with producer on we have Julie Corman, which I think is related to Roger Corman, who produced Cry in the Wild, and music was by Chuck Cirino, Cirino, who did the music for Nessie and Me. The cast, well, we have Kelly Maroney, who is Alison Parks. She was in Night of the Comet. She's on the right. And Barbara Crampton, who is Susie Lynn from Beyond, was the film. I haven't seen that in a long time, actually. She's on the left. Nick Segal, who is Greg Williams, who was in School Spirit. He's on the left. Just checking the dog out. Ignore me for a moment. Russell Todd, who was Rick Stanton, was in the series Another World. He's in the middle. And Tony O'Dell, who was Ferdy Meisel, who was in Head of the Class, the series. He's on the right. Carrie Emerson, who was Linda Stanton. She was in White Dog. John Terlesky, who was Mike Brennan, who was in Stormtrooper. And Susie Slater, who was Leslie Todd, who was in Mind Twister. It was filmed in Sherman Oaks Gallery, which I think is the shopping mall, and Beverly Center in Los Angeles, California. It's also known as Killbots in Belgium and the USA theatre title. Shopping in France and West Germany, that's a bit vague. Supermarket horror in Italy, and R.O.B.O.T with the full stops in the middle, like an abbreviation, and just robot without anything. It was filmed in Sherman Oaks Galleria, the same mall using Commando, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Most notably, we're near the elevators. Okay, I'll have to rewatch that film again. Both films would have been filmed around the same time, but due to budget constraints, this movie was filmed after close of business. So that's kind of cool. So it was literally filmed at the same time. So I actually found it on YouTube, but I ended up paying for it because I thought, why not? I couldn't be bothered at this point. There's no reason for it. I just didn't want to have the adverts all the time. Now, it starts with this dude breaking a window and nicking some jewellery. I love his hairstyle. It's the typical, I can't remember it's a mullet, I think it was. Typical of the 80s. And plus, the glass shattered easily. There's no alarms going off or anything like this. And then I realised it was a film of like a presentation film. Oi! Sorry, it's the dog. So that was the film about how the robot gets the robbers to stop. Sorry about this. Basically the dog's just driving me nuts up the wall. Oi, come here. So it's in the actual in the trailer in the film. So at the beginning about where you're seeing them sort of unveiling the killbots or the robots. It's that bit there. So it starts at that point, which is interesting. Now, apparently for the robot to tell the difference between the thief and a worker staying late, they can scan the ID cards. So apparently Simon, our sales dude, sort of, says, how do you know that they're not going to sort of misread you or something? He says, well, it's okay. So he stands in front and he says, can I scan your ID card? And he goes, okay. Then so he holds it in front of him, waiting for it to be scanned. It's like, there you go. And I'm like, what happened to the worker doesn't? If the worker's like going, I don't know where my badge is. It's somewhere in my pocket. Oh, I'm dead. Or holds it, but it's kind of like a bit shaky. Or what happens if the thief nicks the ID card? Trust me, absolutely nothing can go wrong. Exactly what it just said on there. I never heard that phrase before. Oh, and I love the music by this point. At the beginning, there's the how everyone uses them all, like people that work there, customers, amusement arcade. It's quite enjoyable watching this. And there's some bizarre reason 5 women in bikinis are walking through. I've no idea why. I think they had some sort of chassis on saying what they would advertising, but I don't know what. Now I can see how the robots change. I'm not exactly sure why they do, but I can see how they do it, if that makes sense. And then I saw the first death. It wasn't even about 10 minutes in. The blood was nice and rich. Like cherry juice. So Leslie and Michelle. Is it Michelle? I've got their names here. A second. Leslie. I don't know where Michelle came from. Michael, even. If I can read my own writing, it would help, wouldn't it? They're getting happy together in the shop, right, when Dad returns. And he's not looking very happy, obviously. And Michael's sort of sitting there, or standing there, chewing gum, looking smug, And Dad says, well, I'm going to have to go. Will you lock up? And she goes, yeah, sure. I'll take care of everything. And Dad says, I'm sure you will. As Michael stood there grinning. It's like... yeah. So our group of party couples are getting amorous in the furniture store, in the bed department, of course. Except our newly introduced couple who are watching a horror film. It was I thought it was giant scorpions, but it turned out not to be. I actually got it written down. Let me see if I can find it a second. But I was curious what it was, and yes, I can find it. And yes, I will review it at one point. Let me find the name of the film. It was Attack of the Crab Monsters. C-R-A-B Monsters, 1957. So yeah, I'll be watching that one at one point. But it was interesting because they were like, everyone else was doing their thing, but them two were just sitting there just watching that. It's an 18, so it's not tame, but not the horror film, the rest of it. Now on the trailer there's a bit where the head explodes. Now that's actually pretty good editing. I like that. But when all these robots are firing these lasers at the rest of them, they can't even barn doors. So they managed to shoot her and get her in the head perfect shot. But when everyone was running for their lives, they couldn't hit anybody. There was like, 4 of them at this point? And they couldn't get out, they couldn't even shoot them. Shop window. How do we get in? Don't worry, I've got a key. Lob's an iron bathroom. But it's that kind of glass that it just, it's not like our glass when you throw something at it, it just sticks in the glass. It's like, yeah, great. Jesus. So I saw them all shooting the weapons. Yes, they had weapons. But no one had any recoil. But it was interesting to see that it actually took a while to actually shoot at the robots and kill one. It wasn't like a dum, he's dead. But it was quite interesting the fact that they could all use automatic rifles. I wouldn't even know how to. Obviously I know how to thingy, but you know what I mean. So they're trying to prise this lift door open. But at this point I was like, why are they trying to do this? There's a bloody staircase right behind you. It was an escalator, but I understood why they were doing it. It didn't make sense at the time. It was like, this doesn't make any sense. I must admit, these little robots are quick, right? And I love how these two guys, right, were trying to shoot, but couldn't. A gas canister, there's a gas canister there, and they were trying to shoot this gas canister to blow up the robot. Could they shoot it? No. But Alison did. One shot, boom, dead. The music while being chased is very good. It's very 80s electronics. If you love the 80s sort of music, like most of the music from the 80s was damn well good, you'll like it. So there's a point where you're hiding from a robot in a pet store, and then it rolls, right? Just rolls in and just knocks over the snake and spider cases. And these spiders are huge. They're not these little dinky things. They're like, I'd say like tarantulas, but they may be bird-eating spiders. They're big, huge things. But apparently, even though the person was absolutely crapping themselves, it wasn't really that bad. It was just like when it walked off, just got up and sort of just brushed off the spider. It was like, yeah, I think most people would be, probably screaming at this point. Back when you could walk through a glass window in a shop, No cuts, just walk through. I don't mean Terminator, I mean just literally just walk through. So the person, I'm not naming who it is because there's only like 4 of them at this point. Well, not even that a point, but it's just like, yep, I'm just going to walk through this glass pane. It's not going to be anything going to hurt me. Anyway, it was a good film. I loved the ending. The ending was good. I enjoyed that. And the end credits had these images with names on, so it was like, you know, the person who is, what I know, Kelly Maroney, and came up with a photo or image of her moving around a bit, was Alison Parks. So they didn't come up with Alison Parks, come up with the name. So I thought, oh, that's good. I don't have to bother writing in this rubbish down. Because obviously I have to write down, like, for myself, who it is that I think are the main cast. So I was like just scribbling all this lot down. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's a lot easier for me. I'm actually giving it an 8. 8. Now that's, I mean, what was it? 5.6 and 8, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I really thought it was good fun. I mean, it's a typical 80s kind of film. You know, there was some killing, obviously. It wasn't over the top. I mean, the head one was good. The music was good. They were all, not just the robots were running fast, but they were running fast. They weren't doing anything. In fact, did I see anybody trip over? I can't remember. Somebody must have done. I probably did, but I didn't really notice it. I was too enjoying the film. But yeah, it was good. It was a good film. Highly recommend it. I mean, you can watch it on YouTube, like I say, but I just watched it on Amazon. It was only what? Let me have a look. How much did I spend on it? £2.99. Well, you can pay £1.99 if you go for SD, but I went for HD. So I mean, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. If it was $20.99, then yes. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of Chopping Mall. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me your thumbs up if you liked this video. Leave a comment below. Have you seen this film? Did you enjoy it? I've got plenty of other horror films and sci-fi films on my channel, so you'll be able to find something there that you like, if this one doesn't sort of tickle your fancy. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.